kind of
You guys were talking about
back and forth.
yeah, because you were talking, you're explaining to the people who are not Americans what a liberal is, and then you have to say what a conservative is.
Right, and a conservative would, in theory, on paper, at least what I understand it to be, would be the flip side of that, pushing for policies for a smaller government than what is already present. I can't
like
really say
the traditional religious nuclear family.
a nuclear. I wouldn't call it a religious family. I just call it a nuclear family.
Yeah, I don't think
this is a Judeo-Christian nation. Sorry.
Oh no, I
don't
actually
like
agree with that. All of Europe,
Christian nation. It was well, and I don't even, because full disclosure. Okay, I'm not a Christian, so hate on me. But I always didn't like the Judeo-Christian nation, because the whole idea about Christianity, we could go off on a whole thing here. I don't want to, but I never liked that. And also, many of the founders were they were not atheists like some people claim, but they were certainly not Christian. I mean, the man who wrote.
I was kind of being snarky, anyways. I wasn't really being serious.
Okay, no, I just don't like when people. One of the challenges I have with Christianity, as opposed to some of the other religions, is most of the other religions I've encountered in my life don't proselytize to me. So that's the challenge I have with Christianity, is they're trying to. Have you heard of Jesus? Yeah, I heard of him. Right, I like him.
That's what we're.
I just don't care for his fan club. Okay, but he's a great guy. But his fans, I don't care for.
That's all right. Apparently, your ancestors got away from that fire we had going back in the day. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. So unless you guys have anything else to add on this topic, we can hop on to the next question.
I don't condone burning witches. I was joking.
Good save, Vaun.
Alan probably does, because he's more up in the Northeast, aren't you?
Virginia.
He's from Virginia.
Don't they burn witches in Virginia?
No, they don't.
Maybe they should.
Maybe. No, too edgy. For now, we'll get into that later. So the next question is, let's see. We touched on it, but then we kept moving on. Infrastructure and national spending. Explain, at least from what you guys see. It's not in that in detail. I promise, Vaun. Don't roll your eyes.
No, I wasn't. I was thinking of all the horrible shit that they don't waste money on.
Oh, well, that's what we're getting to. Explain the rapidly deteriorating condition of Middle America, and what does a Middle America mean? To me, Middle America is the average family that's pictured in your stereotypical American cartoon, right, from 30, 40 years ago. That doesn't exist anymore. I'll give you all that.
Norman Rockwell.
No, that's the first thing I thought of when he said that. Norman Rockwell.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Alan doesn't even know what that is, probably.
No, I don't. I'm being honest with you. I
don't even know.
Maybe I've seen it, but maybe I just can't put a name to it. But Middle America is, it's kind of like the blue collar worker, right? It's vocational schools. It's the concept of like self-sufficiency and self-reliance and functional families and communities. We've seen that collapse rapidly in the last 3 to 5 years, and then very, very precipitously in the last 20 to 25 years. That's at least how I see it. But that's what Middle America to me is. If someone else maybe wants to cover,
we'll go this way, so JS can smoke.
Yeah,
we'll go the counterclockwise. When I think about Middle America?
Yeah, middle class, Middle America, whatever you really want.
When I think about that, is being from Southern California, I see you see mega cities. I'm from Los Angeles. You see mega cities like New York, Miami. When I think about Middle America, I think about like buddies that lived in Iowa, Oklahoma, because we're so detached from these people. We don't live the same anymore. So I think about the people that have to earn their money and live their life in a different fashion than what a city dweller lives. And that means they have to worry about getting a job, worry about working in that factory, working on those different traits that don't particularly transfer over to living in cities. So those people have lost their jobs, have lost the love of their country. It's deteriorating because we're moving towards these cities. When immigrants come, they don't move to the middle of nowhere. They come to the city. So the populations are decreasing in these middle American towns, and the government they don't focus on them anymore. Like laws are passing for clean energies that, I don't know, take away laborers from mines, take away steel workers. All these things are disappearing literally before our eyes. So that's what I think. When you say that, that's what I'm imagining. I don't really know anything about it because, like I said, I'm from Los Angeles, but I know that there's got to be towns out there in the middle of nowhere that are disappearing because of how we're pushing towards only living in cities.
And that kind of also hits the fact that if everyone's moving into cities, who's going to support this? This is the other part of the question: infrastructure, right? What is American infrastructure? Look at our roads. Look at our electricity network. Look at our X key infrastructure object, and look how little we care about it. And why do we not care about it? Because we don't see it. It's not important to the daily functioning of our lives. Many people my age will live our lives, right? I live near a city. People will go and walk down the streets that have metros and sub underground sewers for all the waste they produce, and they're just like, yeah, it exists. They'll see power lines everywhere and they'll be like, yeah, that's cool, but no one actually really looks into it, and it's like, wow, all of this functions all together just to keep me and my Starbucks latte going from place to place.
Yeah, the focus is completely somewhere else.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Alan, do you get the soy latte or the regular milk?
I don't go to Starbucks. I make my own coffee because I'm a normal American.
I wanted to ask Dan, like Crenshaw Mafia?
Like in Los Angeles, you want to know about the reason why I moved away from the United States is because it's pathetic. Listen, this
hey, that's my country.
Okay? This ties into it. Middle America used to be kids being able to walk in the streets, going to school. Middle America used to be that freedom that you enjoyed, playing in the park while your mom is reading a newspaper. You can't do that in America anymore because if you look away from your kid for 5 minutes, he's getting raped or being stolen. This is the mentality we have in cities, and it's spreading into the towns. You have people who are demented in their head, who are psychopaths. Here outside my window in Russia, you see like 3-year-olds going to ice skate by themselves, and they live a mile away. You see little kids going on buses from school, and they've got to be on there for 30 minutes. So you have a freedom of Middle America that has completely disappeared. Is that tranquility and beautifulness to the country is died.
Community?
And I found it, the community, yeah. There's no community in America.
Or in the cities.
Like when I was a kid.
Yeah, in the cities, but it's deteriorating. It goes from cities to towns to villages in America at a faster pace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the cities are spreading way too fast.
Yeah, well, the towns are just dying, though. I think that's what Dan meant, was that because the towns have been so, the smaller communities, what they call flyover country. That area is just neglected. Like they're looked down upon by the people in like New York, DC, and LA. They all look down on those people that come from, all the states that are shaped, have a square or rectangular shape. They
all the people that feed them.
Exactly. Like there was, God, I wish I had the clip, but it was like, where do you think all your food comes from? And they said the supermarket.
I know the one you're talking about. I've seen stuff like that.
And it's like these people think like that. I'm not dissing on Alan. I know you, but people like your generation, they believe that.
You're right. You're right. So to get my first degree, I had to take a psychology course, and in said psychology course, we had a project where we had to go out into the Capitol and ask quite like a sociology exam for random people passing by. And one of the questions I asked was, what year did World War II end? I got one correct answer.
Trick question?
Out of how many?
Why it's muted?
How many answers or questions? How many people did you ask?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was like It's 34, 35. Yeah.
But in the age group of these people were college age.
Yeah, college age
These are
people
college
my
kids in
age downtown
college.
at the college. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
walk
whole
around.
other thing. The American education system has fucked generations of kids since I
Oh,
was in school.
that's on the questions. We're getting to that. We're gonna have a good time
No,
on
I
that
mean,
one.
I could give you a personal example. I mean, it's just what American public education does to these kids is a crime against humanity, because you're basically setting up generations of kids who have no ability to function in a working class society, which is a society that would require the least amount of skill to earn a living. They can't even fucking do that. We've hired people that can't read a fucking ruler, and they're 24 something years old and have 5 kids. How the fuck is that person going to raise those kids and those kids ever going to have a fucking decent life when some shitty ass public school just passed that bitch right on through and let her keep popping out babies and gave her a certificate saying she graduated high school? She can't even read a fucking ruler to set type on a fucking stamp, and it's all computerized. I mean, it's like they fucked that girl. They fucked that girl, and they fucked all her kids.
The whole
Because
family.
they encouraged that shit, and they did nothing for her.
Yeah. I guess let's just get that question over with. Public schools and raising the next / current generation. It's kind of covering like the defunding and depopularity of vocations and trade schools, as well as like, I guess, stories. Do you guys have stories you could relate about how the education system has changed from maybe when you were younger to what it is now? Vaun, I know you said you went to a private school.
That's aimed at Vaun and myself, I guess, right? Because we're the old guys here.
I mean, it's changed even since I was in a little bit younger. Like, I'm serious. Like, I know a couple kids younger than myself, and it's the shit I hear is insane.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just remember. I did get a good education, but I'm probably one of the senior members here, and I went to a Catholic school. But I mean, I know there's stories like kids no longer have to learn. Like, I had to memorize the times tables, things like that. Like, they don't do that anymore.
They don't teach kids cursive. How's a kid supposed to have a fucking
cursive.
signature?
That's right. They no longer teach cursive anymore, which I was.
They don't teach how to read. No, they don't teach how to read clocks anymore.
What?
Yeah,
we do not teach
people.
Pull out a fucking app to figure out the change she had to give me at the register. Even though the register showed her what change she had to give me, she still went and pulled an app out and did it.
How do you do math without multiplication? Like, timetables, if you do not know, then how do you even solve it?
Because they use computers in the classroom.
Oh yeah, they don't. If I had a little watch calculator like a Casio in like 1989, I was fucking James Bond. These motherfuckers just walk in and Google everything and plagiarize
it's not Googling
everything.
Anymore.
And there's no
it's not
problem.
Googling anymore. It's Chat GPT. You guys ever heard of that?
You're talking about the AI thing, right?
It's an AI. Yeah. You can just copy and paste your homework into the chat, the AI.
Oh yeah.
That will
kill. It creates like papers for you and everything, right?
You don't even have to search for shit anymore. Like,
no, that's what I'm saying. You just put your information in, and it'll write a paper for you, right?
Yes, look. I'll be the first to admit I have done it. Not papers, but like written questions where I'm like, I'm just too exhausted. It's 2 a.m. I'm exhausted. I want to write something up. I need an answer, and then it spits something out. I'm like, this is insane.
So I use ChatGPT quite a bit because I was doing the Ukraine map. I did a custom map, so I use it to help me to solve problems. And what's the difference between this and a search engine? So sometimes when we try to use a search engine, we try to find certain things, certain answers, but then we have to read through the search results, right?
Yeah, you have to research.
So, you have to search through and click through all the different websites to see what they say. ChatGPT kind of dumb down everything to the point where it's like you are asking your mother or asking your father or asking your professor. It's like, how do you solve this question? He will just tell you everything. Just that this professor knows everything. It is crazy. But the problem is, I got a feeling that it will get very popular, but then people will become more and more stupid because
That's
you
a
may not
huge.
realize what
Like
is
it'll
right.
run out of things to come up with, so it'll start saying gibberish.
No, no.
Because
I
it
think
gets
what he
all
means that
the
people won't
answers from the
think
website.
anymore.
Yeah, because it get all the information from the internet. So if all the information on the internet is wrong, then it will start to feed you wrong answers, and you wouldn't know because you didn't really make an effort to, let's say, study, to do your own research. Because if, let's say, like Alan's case where he I'm too tired, I'm lazy to write, so I just use ChatGPT to write my whole thesis for me.
Oh, I'm not. I didn't do that. It was just.
I just for example, like for college students and moving forward, a lot of students might do it because it's lazy, it's fast, it's super fast, like stupid fast. So
Yeah.
then eventually they don't really develop their brains at all. So it's going to kill off so much brain cells. And if you think that calculator is bad, like, so now you guys don't learn timetables. So because there's calculator, wait till you have this AI tool, everyone will become so stupid.
Yeah.
Like really, really.
Here's a story.
I've never even heard of it.
So basically, it's a website called ChatGPT AI.
It's still an experimental thing, though.
Yeah, you have to make an account to use it.
Yeah, just go there. You could write ask.
I'm not gonna do it. I hate things that will expose. Those kind of things scare me, dude. I remember when the internet came out. I'm 33 years old, but I remember when internet came out, and my brother and I typed things, and we were just like, "What the hell is this?" Hearing people on the microphones, it was like magic, and this right here sounds like black magic.
So
Dude.
a few years ago,
No.
I
wanted one story I wanted to get out.
Okay.
For this question, I asked it. I typed in the prompt for the question. It was like what was it? It was asking me about like income statistics about Apple or something, like from a case study. And I'm like, I can't be bothered. I got to do this. And then ChatGPT wrote me like a 300, 400 word answer, to which I then entered, no, please make it shorter. And then it just shortened it to like 4 or 5 sentences, and it said, all right, here you go. You're done.
Yeah. So AI tools, right? A few years ago, they simply do editing for you, grammar, vocabulary, spelling errors, punctuation in the wrong places. Then sometimes it's still not perfect, and that was my experience with AI, in terms of this kind of automated things. Just a few years ago, like 2-3 years ago. Now, what I did when I was doing the coding, I literally just copy the entire code, I just paste inside, and I ask it, what is wrong with my code? That's it. That's all I write. What is wrong with my code? ... Then I paste my entire code. I enter in. The program took like 5 seconds. Then after it started writing, so the AI literally know what I'm trying to do, and they telling me which part of my code is wrong. He say, "Oh, I think you're trying to do this, and this. But this line of code is wrong. So maybe you should write it in this way." Literally. Then that's how I resolve all my coding problems. Because in the past, when I was doing coding, I have to really search through Google and try to see if anyone have actually tried something like this. Yeah. Now I just ask ChatGPT, and he just literally tell me where I actually made a mistake.
And you sound like a crazy person if this is real.
It's real, dude. I made it make me a workout plan, like a weekly workout plan, and it did it. I gave it all my stats, like my BMI, my all my information. And it was like, yeah, do this, and this day, do this, and this, eat this, and this, eat this, and this. And it made workout plans and diet plans for me.
I mean, if I was Skynet, that's what I would do. I would tell Wyatt, "Oh yeah, you need to fix this part." And
no, one is like, that was a joke, but it is fucking Skynet. Like that's the best way. Like, so Dan, be afraid.
I love Skynet. Just so you know, I love you,
bro. What he said actually scared me because he said he typed in what is wrong with my code ... and the machine told him what was wrong with his thing. That's scary to me, man.
So that is that's literally the question you would ask your professors, like you're doing maybe you're learning programming, right? So it's like sometimes you're just so tired. It's like, what the hell is wrong with my code? I can't get it to work. And then you just want to ask your professor or you ask your teacher. It's like, please just tell me what it is. I give up. Then your real teacher will not tell you. It's like, no, You have to solve
Yeah,
it yourself.
your teacher would be like, no, you got it. I believe in you.
gotta
Keep
figure it
keep
out.
reading your textbook.
Oh, the teacher would give you a hint, like, you know.
This
maybe
teacher will literally just tell you exactly where is wrong.
Damn.
But what's funny about it too is it's gotten politically correct, because when it first came out, it was really based. You know,
Yeah.
like it started saying like, you know, so
No,
it's funny. A guy I follow on Twitter, I won't say his name because I don't have his permission, but he asked it like, can men menstruate?
What did it say?
No, but they changed it. So now they corrected it because, depending on your point of view. Like,
Yeah,
so
it'll talk about transgender. It gives you the definition of a woman, and it's the
yeah, it doesn't know what to do. It's kind of like, does anyone remember, anybody here? Well, I don't know if anyone's old enough besides Vaun to know. Remember the original Star Trek episode with Nomad, the drone that they captured? Nomad. Error.
How
You're
does
muted,
he
Vaun.
mute himself so fast?
Vaun, you're
Why
muted.
won't keep muting himself? You don't really have to mute yourself.
Oh, I don't know that episode, but I've probably seen it. But there's just so many of those things I can't even remember.
No, the original. It was when he tricked the it was a drone that they, or a computer drone that they captured that was like all powerful, but it would destroy anything that wasn't perfect, and but because it misidentified, it thought Captain Kirk was its creator, it didn't destroy itself. So anyway, it's kind of like the reason I was drawing that parallel between this AI chat is because it's kind of like when you ask it a question like that, when it contradicts the politically correct narrative of its creators, it doesn't know what to do. It kind of like crashes the system. So you say, well, can men menstruate? Well,
So does it have a creator?
No. So
does-
all it
no,
is
it's
just
not
a bunch of
it's a bunch
Yeah.
of code.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but who made that machine? Who made that the thing that you guys
It's
are
not a
talking about? Who made
machine,
it?
literally. It's just a bunch of code on a server.
So okay,
I
so
know,
It's the
but in my
person,
head,
it takes on the personality of the code writer, probably.
no. So the way it works is they wrote a program that basically it's a very simple chat program, right? Like I'm sure you've heard of basic chat programs where you say hello and the program says hello, how are you back, right? So they got one of those programs and then developed a like teaching program for it so that if you ask a certain question, it'll give a certain amount of responses, and then a human will sit there and be like, "This one sucks. This one sucks. This one sucks. This one's better, but not that good. This one sucks. This one this," and then it'll learn based on how
yeah, but I'm
like the
asking
input.
who made it? What company?
A company called OpenAI.
Teledyne.
OpenAI?
OpenAI. Yeah,
Or Skynet, just Skynet.
it's just kind of.
Cyberdyne Systems.
Simon. Yeah. Now I gotta
actually-
go watch that movie. Yeah.
Guys, actually, it's the Cylons.
So the danger of something like this is
Right, and
at this moment is very useful, but then when everybody
back-
starts to depend on it, that's the problem. No.
Back, I guess, to the American topic. We took a little sidetrack there. No, but this is about it, right? What is the American education system going to be like if this continues to proliferate? Maybe there's going to be a competing company that makes a similar AI. It's like, no, use ours; it'll give you more accurate information, and then you just get an arms race of AI. And then I've also heard there's
Do you want the like intelligent AI, or do you want the idiocracy AI?
There you go. Which one do you want? Because there's also companies that are developing AIs to detect if, at least in the school system, to detect if you answer a question a certain way, if it was given to you by an AI. Which means they're making AIs to detect AIs that are at the same time competing with other AIs. So
To
what
the
can that
American
do?
point,
What
the
can
way
that
I
do
see
to
it
the
is,
American?
but that's what I'm thinking. You talking about a machine that gives answers to people that can influence the brains of the young kids. You don't even have to go into counter AI or AI, a different AI. The fact that we're going to allow or even already have something that kids can use gives them ideas that they don't have to think about. And when they read what the machine wrote, it will be their idea. That's how you program the child. Is hey, can you write an idea about how I like bears? He doesn't like bears yet, or he doesn't know how he likes bears, and the machine bloop Bears, you like bears because bears like homosexuality. I'm just using that as an example.
Those fucking bears.
No, you should have said the frogs. The frogs
Oh
are
yes,
gay.
the frogs.
You gay frogs.
The frogs are turning homosexual, and then the kids will say, "Yes, naturally." And when he grows up, he'll say, "I wrote a report in the 5th grade about gay frogs," and they program kids. It's crazy that it sounds like this, but to me, after hearing what you guys are talking about, never hearing about AI,
This could
I don't know if
actually
I've been
happen,
lost in Russia. Yeah, like I'm scared.
The literal scenario that you mentioned could actually happen in
Yeah,
real life.
give it 15
Because
years. It'll
literally
be a
you can
thing.
just ask this question. They will give you really that answer.
I mean, think about it. You already got auto tuning for music and shit. Pretty soon, everything will be fucking fake.
Okay, but what does that do to the education? What does that do to upcoming generations?
Well, I
It'll
think,
be
Alan,
like-
you're the first person that's seen it.
Everyone will be fat and sitting around and let machines take care of them.
Hey, don't insult JS like that.
Wally.
Ooh, touche.
It's actually a bit like the Wall-E world, right? No, the animation Wall-E. Like, everybody's just like sitting in this floating chair and they're just fat, but they enjoy their life. They just have everything.
But their brain, you have to think about how they think too. I know they're fat, but they don't know anything, and they look at something new, and it's like, whoa, that's what I'm tripping out, because I think I've been in Russia for a year, and I don't know if this is new, but to me, it's like, holy shit.
It's like a couple months old.
We got electricity here in America, dude.
No. Let me tell you from the point of view of a Gen Zer. I already know dozens of people who rely on this every single day for their education. They have these are college students. Some of them are master's or doctoral students, and they rely on AI to get them their degrees.
And they're and that makes them not even legit doctors because they don't even have the knowledge.
These are medical doctors. These are statisticians. These are biomathematicians. Do you even know what biomathematics is? And the people are using an AI to get their education for them, because that's what education has turned into the United States. It's a commodity. Even my generation recognizes that. Maybe not directly recognizes it.
But it's not even a real commodity for a lot of them. I mean, it's a fake commodity. They're just a paper that they earned. They're not actually backed by the actual knowledge in the field. Like, I did a chemistry paper. No, you actually didn't. You didn't do the chemistry experiment, so you really don't know what the hell you're doing. And then later on, when they're in a company or something, I wonder how many companies are dealing with people that show up on the job that have these degrees in this field, and then they don't know how to do a damn thing. Even the most basic thing, like, hey, go in there and turn on the Bunsen burner and get ready for the lab.
Yeah.
I remember. That's all I remember.
Freshman year biology, we actually had the Bunsen burner and the whole thing. We had a lab. We had to dissect a frog with an actual scalpel.
I'm going to piss you guys
imagine
off.
if they gave scalpels out to fucking.
I think now it's done on like a video camera, like a computer.
I'll tell you how I did it. I'll tell you how I did it, and then I'll tell you how it was done earlier last semester with the person I know. When I did it, a whopping 4 years ago, we had to get permission slips to participate in the dissection from our parents.
You know what?
Now,
when we dissected
fully online. You sit in a classroom and you watch a video of a dissection, and you have to take notes on what you see.
But you never hold a scalpel, right?
You sit there. You're sitting there. There's a big projector, and you're sitting here writing notes.
I mean, we're in high school. They gave a bunch of dumbass high school kids in the 80s. Here's a scalpel. Here's some electrical wire to hook to this thing so you can touch the frog and make its legs move and shit. So what are we doing? We're fucking shocking this dead frog, making its legs move, hold it on there too long, stick it on the heart. Like, we're going to restart this motherfucker's heart because we're stupid. All the shit we did in school. I mean, like you said, you got to get a permission. My parents are like, what'd you do in school day? Oh, we dissected a frog and tried to shock it back to life. I mean, I worked in a fish store. When we find dead fish, I rigged up my own. I made a homemade, or was it the heart shocker?
AED.
Yeah, I took a power cord and I took a power cord. I just cut it and then I made 2 little splices. Then I took some sponge and put it on the ends because I thought that would be soft on the fish. And we sit there and shock the fish, and it would arch and shit, but it never came back. But that's the kind of shit we did. Now, you know, you got to watch somebody do it. You know, they should watch us do that stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I
kids
was
would be
going to say, like,
traumatized. Kids,
we
I
learned
mean,
a lot
nowadays kids would be
doing that.
crying if they saw the frog moving around and shit, smelling burning frog.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine? Like, yeah, I mean, I guess I just feel really old, just thinking about that.
I mean, like, I was like in one of my art classes, our teacher, when we were doing pottery, she's like, don't make sure when you make your thing, there's no air holes in it because it could explode in the kiln. Yeah. Well, okay, I'm putting air holes in it so the fucker blows up in the kiln. Thanks, you dumb bitch. Tell me something else I don't need to know.
The thing is, I know that story. Like that's like story that you hear about all the time. And nowadays, if you put something like, let's say you're in an art class, like in a modern American art class, it's like the teacher will watch what you're making, and if it doesn't follow what it is, then it just gets thrown out. So not only are we destroying education, but we're destroying creativity or ingenuity or whatever.
There's like, when I was a kid, I like to think I invented the Molotov pumpkin. I mean, that's the kind of shit you can't do today. I mean, when I was a kid, my favorite thing to do before Halloween was to steal pumpkins. And I mean, my parents had an old Chevy Caprice, and by Halloween we would have it full of pumpkins, and all we would do is drive around town throwing pumpkins out the window, throw them at mailboxes. And one time I got the bright idea that I can make a Molotov pumpkin, kind of like the Headless Horseman, but you know, you just light it and you threw it. All that kind of stuff you can't do now. You'd be in prison. I mean, it's sad. That's what's sad about America now. You can't go out like we used to go out. I tell my mom, hey, my dad's out of town because he's a pilot. Well, Dad said we could take the guns out. Oh, okay. Gives us the guns. Where y'all going? Oh, we're going out east to go rampage a prairie dog town. Come back later, clean the guns. They don't ask no questions. Nowadays, It'd be like, if I went out to where I used to shoot nowadays, there'd be a SWAT team on us in 5 minutes, and there'd be environmentalists out there crying about some dead prairie dogs. But I mean, I tell my parents, like, what are you going to go do? Shoot prairie dogs? Okay. There's the gun. See ya.
Yeah.
Don't get in trouble.
Can I say that for anybody who's not American, the rate at which there's been limitations imposed on people in America is much faster than you would find in your countries. Your countries are probably banned weapons and fun for many, many years, but in America, it seems that every new year, because every if you go to like England or any other European country, it seems. When I visited Germany, I told my friend, let's cross the street. He said, no, the light is red. There was no cars for 5 minutes. The light was on a timer, not on a pressure plate. He said, let's not cross because the light is red. I said, but there's no cars. In America, you usually do these kind of things. Oh, it's no cars, you cross. So it's, like I say, there's many, many laws coming in America that are taking away the fun and the freedom at a crazy pace.
Freedom is the key here.
Yeah, there's new laws every time. So this is why, if you're not American and you're hearing Americans talk about how it used to be, it's because it's going away very fast, and we actually like having fun and we actually love freedom. So I hope that if anybody's watching this and you're getting offended that we like crazy things, it's because we enjoy being able to do things that make our heart feel happy. And that's killing prairie dogs.
Yeah. I mean, like one time we went out to this, just again, how it was back in the 80s and when I was a teenager. You know, there was like this old, somebody said it was a Japanese internment camp. I don't know. What it was. But we went out there one time. We got chased by some wild dogs. What did we do? We went home, got all the fucking guns. We're like, fuck them dogs. We're going to go out and get them. Of course, the dogs weren't there when we got back. So we just shot the fuck out of the buildings and stuff. And then we left. I mean, that's the kind of thing, you know, back then, nobody cared. Oh my God, I heard some gunshots. Now, I mean, you know, you can't go out.
I heard a car backfire. I got to call the police.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and I'm not even, you know, that's Colorado is way more open. But I mean, in places like that, out in the Midwest and stuff like that, I mean, you used to be able to go out and do all kinds of shit like that, you know, and people treated you like, you know, I mean, granted, kids were stupid and do stupid shit, but, you know, we all knew gun safety. We weren't trying to shoot each other. We just wanted to go fucking shoot cans and pop some prairie dogs or, you know.
Yeah, but the thing is, like
But
now,
it is-
like you said, you know, Vaun, like the thing is, like you got places like cities like Chicago, for example, where you got gun shootings. Like, you know, one of the things, I don't know, Alan, check me if I got on a tangent here, but like the whole BLM thing, they don't really care about Black lives. I mean, because you got how many Black lives
Nope.
end every
Point.
freaking weekend, and you never hear about it.
It's a
Never
mass
hear
shooting
about it.
every
Okay.
weekend in Chicago. Every weekend.
Let me stop us right there. Let's get the general question out so then JS can continue his point. What has deindustrialization of places like Pennsylvania, Detroit, Chicago, in the Midwest done to our society? And that's what JS was just hitting on, right? It's crime.
Yes, it's crime, and it also, deindustrialization of America has made us totally dependent on the whole exporting of our industrial base to overseas. You know, China. It started with Mexico. That's how it started, by the way, back in the day. Was Mexico in the 80s when they started to move all the car plants to Mexico.
NAFTA.
And yeah, right, NAFTA, yeah. And but even before NAFTA they started, but then NAFTA got really big. I was under Bill Clinton, and they started to. And then what happened is no one in the United States went into the trades anymore. By trades, I mean like welders, carpenters,
HVAC, mechanics, etc.
right. So
Yeah.
no, everybody started to look down on that, like, oh, that's beneath me. That's work that's not worth doing. But that's, look, man, you need that. You don't need people who have a degree in project management or, you know, bullshit. Degrees like that. You need people who can actually make things and fix things, and we don't have that in this country anymore. I don't know if that's true of all of the West. Like in West, I'd be curious if it's like that in Western Europe. You know, I mean,
No, it's not.
It's not okay.
No, yeah. Can I tell you how it works really quickly? When I moved to Germany after the military, I said, "Hey, what kind of work can I do?" They said, "You don't have a diploma to even be a trash picker up, like a trash man." They said, "A trash man, you need to go to college and learn how to be a trash man, and it's a very high value job." To them, those kind of jobs are more important. I ended up being a hydraulic engineer, working, making like hoses for hydraulic machines, and I went through that process, and they value that way more in like things you do with your hands than, I don't know, becoming a teacher. To them, they want to work with their hands, and you need a diploma to even begin to learn. And once you learn, you just go through this crazy schooling to even be a trash
Like
man. So,
apprenticeship. Like we used to have that
yeah,
apprenticeship,
yeah,
and
they
you
have
become
it
a
at a high
journeyman, and then
level
you got
for being a trash man. So you can see how much it is.
Wow. And that's so, but that was a good capstone to vocations in the U.S. It's looked down upon. I know one person my age, one, who went into a trade, and that's welding. He went into welding. He got his cert, and only one cert, and now he has a job somewhere locally. And of the thousands of people whom I know who go to higher education, whom I know I went to public school with, the public school I went to had a graduating class of 800 people. Maybe 1% of 1% went into a vocational school, went into something that will actually genuinely help our community, give them the skills they need to continue building up our society. Everyone else, for example, my ex went to go get her degree in psychology, along with 20% of my graduating class. 20% of my graduating class went to get degrees in psychology. What do you do with psychology?
Yeah, because you guys are going to get so depressed. You guys need a lot of psychologists.
yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe it's not a bad deal because I think that I heard a statistic that like 50% of women in the United States are on some sort of psychiatric medication. And the really scary thing about that is that means that half of all women are running around unmedicated.
I've heard that one before. No, but okay, let's assume that's real, right? Let's assume it's 50%. Let's just assume a massive portion of people in the United States are medicated for psychiatric problems. How many of those are legitimate, and how many of those are simply put on someone because they met with a professional? You know, one of these 20% of people who went into this field who just is not very well educated or too egotistical, and then just gave them a prescription and essentially.
Oh, look at ADHD. How much ADHD is real, and how much of it's a boy? Or
My second grade teacher, my mom told me the story. When I was in second grade, I was a hyperactive little shit. I ran around. I made noises in class. I didn't pay attention. My teacher had one of those parent-teacher conferences with my mom. She goes, "Yeah, Alan has ADHD because he's acting exactly like my son does. You should get him on, you know, whatever the medicine was."
cocaine.
And then